I'm going to try to make it as absolutely short as possible, but we're going to be talking about basically how to rent instruments. If you don't already have one, that's what they are here for, helping right over here, or processes and just some of the logistics. So let me just run through my whole thing over here. So this is going to be like their introduction to band year, as I like to call it. With it, they're going to be learning how to read notes, how to read music, all the stuff, how to hold the instrument, how to blow air, form an embouchure, all of that thing. They're also going to learn things like discipline, teamwork. Yes, it takes a lot of that. It is a lot more than just playing a bunch of notes and playing songs together. So it does take a little bit of grit with it, and they're going to be super, super great. So for our schedule, I know that's probably one question that you guys all have. If you don't remember which instrument your child is, I do have it over there. If you don't, just ask me and I probably remember it. But the schedule that we have, it's during their first period of the day, which is their RTI time. It's 1.5 class periods a week. It's a little strange, but it's all during the first period. And if they are trumpet, they're on Mondays. Trombones, baritones are on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be flutes, and Thursday is going to be clarinets. And then they'll have a second half period where that's going to be trumpets, trombones, and low brass on Tuesdays, and flutes and clarinets on Thursdays. I'll send you guys that schedule out in an email probably later tonight. So they'll be at that time, and I'll make sure that the teachers know everything. I'll send you guys that whole schedule. If in the event we don't have school on Monday, for example, next week, I'm just going to move the trumpets back a day, and they're going to join the low brass on that day. And if we don't have it on Thursday, I'm just going to push them a day forward. If we don't have anybody that week, well, then there's that. So I'll send that out to you guys. Our concert date is not set yet, but it's going to be like the first or second week of May. They will have that. So things that they're going to need, and like I said, I'll send out another email with this. Obviously, an instrument. We'll show you guys how to get one of those. They will need a technique book, and if I can steal this one over here, if it's this one over here, it's called Standard of Excellence. And I will say, if you're a trombone family, I messed up my original link. I'm going to send you guys another one. But it is a red technique book like this. It does have the instrument up at the very top, so I'll make sure that you guys have that. They'll need that. They will need a foldable music stand, which is one of these. If you already have one at home, then you're probably already good. But one of these over here so that they can keep their music up. With that, obviously an instrument. Some other things that they'll need for a woodwind specific, that is flute and clarinet, they're going to need cleaning rods, otherwise it can grow mold inside of their instruments. So that should be included with the packs that they have. If you decide to go and rent or have your own already, I'll send you guys links for that as well. For clarinets, they will need reeds, which one of these boxes right over here, they cannot play without it. So they'll need that, and like a box there includes about 10 reeds, which will last probably a year and a half if they are taking care of it carefully. Knowing fourth graders, we'll probably go through it in about 2 weeks. I think they'll probably break some, but I'll teach them reed care and all this and that. The best bang for the buck is a brand called Van Doren. You are allowed to get your own reeds, whatever you see online, but just know the cheapest options usually start to warp and bend a little bit, and they become unplayable super, super quick. So I'll send you guys the good ones over there. So one more time, those technique books, they're called Standard of Excellence. We will be playing out of those every single day. It has everything from like fingerings to reading notes and rhythms. I will have a couple extras right off the bat, but they will be like out of that every single day. So they'll bring all of that with them every single day, but this music stand right here, that will stay at home. For our concert that we have, they'll need to bring it back. But that'll all stay at home right there. One thing that's going to make your child super great though, and this is something that I could get your help with, and I'll talk about this more in a second, is at home practicing. They're going to make some questionable sounds at first. The fun of learning an instrument, I'm sure some of you guys have already get that, but it's like learning a new language or developing a new athletic skill. It's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take a while to get right. They're not going to be great at it right away, but for you guys as parents, like your motivation is going to be the most important part for them. So one thing that's going to be super helpful is setting up a dedicated practice space. Like just an area that hopefully without any distractions, TV, loud noise, if possible. But that's where the music stand goes, that's where they play. Hopefully it's somewhere quiet enough for you guys. But I have seen some where they are forced to practice outside. Just know, I know every situation's a little bit different, and if you need, like, they are also welcome to practice inside the school here. But just an area with without a lot of distractions. A routine is usually great for them as well, and I know that I needed this whenever I was in middle school, whether it's right before dinner or when they get home or even in the mornings, just like a little time, if it's like 10-15 minutes at this point of the day. It doesn't need to be every single day, but like I said, it's like developing a new skill. It's going to take a little bit of time and encouraging. And even breaking this time into like smaller chunks, maybe it's 10 minutes of working on this one over here, then number 10 they're going to spend 5 minutes on, and number 11, and just kind of encouraging them to like, hey, show me this new note right here that you just learned, or this new rhythm, or like, hey, what did you learn today? Play that for me, sort of deal. Celebrating their success as well. It's going to be a lot of minor achievements this year, but they take a very, very long time to learn, weeks and weeks and weeks. So if they are like, hey, I got a new note, give them some applause right there. It's super exciting for them. And then do show a lot of interest with it, and I know that you guys already do, but they are very, very excited about it. Never say they sound bad, even if they do. You guys know it would probably be true. But just know that that can really, really like hurt a kid if you're like, even if it's a joke, hey, that sounded bad, it can hurt them right over there. Enough with that. Another thing that can help out, private lessons. We do, if you guys are unfamiliar with the whole band world, it's the world I live in. O'Fallon Township, where they will end up going to high school unless you guys move, they are a nationally ranked high school band program. Very, very successful with marching band and concert band. There are lots of students there that would be willing to give lessons at a discounted rate or even free. So I'm going to send that out a little bit later to you guys about a list of like, hey, I might be interested in getting them like once a week for like 30 minutes with this student. We have lots of students here that already do that. Another one that I'm just going to bring up, and this is more of a next year talk, is instrument swapping. And they're going to talk about this as well. Usually we try to avoid that the very first time around, this first semester that they're in, but sometimes they're interested in more instruments. We have a very limited amount here in 4th grade. It's because of the time that we have available, but if, let's just say they're interested in other things like oboe, French horn, saxophone, percussion, we will have like auditions for that, or we will have like, hey, I'm interested in this, how can I start moving forward? We'll talk about that more next semester, but we try to avoid it this semester because a lot of students are, this is hard, I want to restart from here. And with me being the one band and music teacher here, there's only so much I can do, so it's really, really tricky to swap them over this first semester. One other thing, if your instrument is not working, as much as I know that some of you might be handymen or anything like that, please do not attempt to fix it. It's usually a lot of these instruments have very, very small parts that can bend or snap. Just bring it to me. Usually it's just a quick and easy, I pop it back into place. If it's a major one, I'll send you an email and they'll actually get it repaired over here. Just a heads up with that, if something looks like it's going to start breaking, just bring it to me. Jumping ahead, sorry, I'm cutting down a bunch of stuff on my script to get you guys home faster. One thing that I have had some parents reach out about, the way I've designed this band here is that it never conflicts with any other things. If they're interested in other clubs, activities, sports, they are more than welcome to do those. I do not have band activities after school that conflict with other things, and if there is, I'm able to work around it. So just know if your child is still like, oh, I want to do basketball next year, you can do basketball. We have people in almost every single club and activity that are also in the band program here as well. So just wanted to give a heads up, that's more of a next year thing right there. Last thing I'm going to talk about before we start talking about instrument rentals is this year is not for a grade for them. They are still expected to be able to work on all these things, but it's not for me to go, haha, you don't know that note, you failed. Just so you guys are aware, if you're looking in the grade book and don't see band, that's wrong. Okay, so we're going to talk about now how to actually rent an instrument. This whole process is online, so hopefully you guys brought your phones, which I imagine you do. So they have an option over here to rent, which is the best option in my opinion, and I'll talk about that. If you already have an instrument, there are options available, and also if there's like, hey, Mr. Korak, like finances are a concern, come talk to me, like we'll get something figured out for you guys. I want to make sure that every single student who wants to do band can do band. So if you decide that you want to rent, they're going to take over here in just a minute. But if you are deciding, hey, I would rather purchase my own instrument, one, good luck to you guys. Or if you already have one, maybe like a neighbor has one or a family member, like a donated one, that is completely okay. But if you are going to go online and purchase an instrument, I just want to say be careful with it because there's what we call instrument-shaped objects online. These are like much cheaper options that you would see on Amazon, Temu, Walmart, all of these other places. They might look pretty, but they are not. They are very poor quality with poor marksmanship, and unfortunately a lot of the students that have had those here in the past, their instrument stops working after a few weeks. So they end up spending more on repairs than if you were to get a higher quality instrument. Some of the higher quality ones, and I'll send you this list later, are going to be Yamaha, Jupiter, Bach, Selmer, King, Conn-Selmer, Gemeinhardt, but like ones that these here are ones that you want to avoid are called Eastrock, Mendini, Glory, Beth, First Act, Mark II. Those are usually brands to stick away from. So they're going to start talking about the rental process, which I'm sure that they already handed out those sheets to you guys. I'm going to pass over the microphone to them.
All right, I will stand up because I don't think that most of you would be able to see me if I was sitting down over there. You guys should have all got one of these. If not, I can give you one. Down here, this little square down here, I hope you found, that's got the groups in it with amounts on there. So most of you guys here, it sounds like, are going to be in Group A. That is a $30 a month rental fee, or if you choose to do the full year, it's $216. That full year is up December 31st, so that is a calendar year, not just the school year. Let's see. I will talk about the pros and cons about those, and I'll talk about online rental, maintenance, rent-to-own, exchange, loaners, and if you guys have any questions after that, let me know. I'll try to keep it quick for you guys because I know you want to get home. So pros and cons about the monthly versus the year lease. That year lease is a fixed contract, so if you do decide to go with that, be sure you know that your child is going to stick to band. If they exchange, that's fine. Like an instrument, that's fine. But that's the fixed rate. So if your kid is in it for a month and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you've already paid for the year. So if you're not sure that your child is going to stick with band, I would say it's going to be safer for you to do the monthly fee. The year lease is actually going to save you a bit of money, but that's just kind of up to you. Whatever works best for you and your situation at home, and whether the kid is all gung-ho for band or they're just kind of dipping their toes in the water and they're not sure. Online rental, he mentioned that you can do all of this online if you're not ready to make a commitment tonight. Everything that we're doing here can be done online. Just go to our website, which is, or should be, on here. It sure is down there at the bottom. Visit our website. That stuff can all be done through there. I would do it as soon as you can, though, just so we don't deliver instruments and you've got a kid in this class that still hasn't rented. You know, get on it as soon as you can so we can deliver them all at the same time. Maintenance. No matter what plan you go with, if you're going for the year lease or the monthly payments, you're going to have maintenance on that instrument. So any kind of natural wear and tear, and honestly, it goes beyond natural wear and tear. I've seen some pretty unnatural things happen, like a flute coming in that's got a nice radius to the whole thing. That's not natural, but a lot of times stuff like that is covered. So don't be shy as far as letting your teacher know there's something wrong. A lot of times he'll fix it here at the school, like he said, and if it's something that he's not got time for, or it's just a tool he doesn't have, whatever, he can send it to us. We will repair it. We can actually issue you a loaner, which at this point I can skip talking about a loaner later. If you send in an instrument, whether it's, it doesn't matter what plan it's on, and it doesn't matter if you're even renting with us. If it's your own instrument and we have your instrument in the shop, then you can get a loaner. Just let us know you need one. He usually does. Hey, I need to send this in. Can I get a loaner? Sure. But yeah, that maintenance really covers most things. Rent to own. It's kind of a rent to own deal if you choose to stick with band and eventually you get to a comfortable payoff amount. then you can actually pay it off and it's yours. Part of your payments each month or year, depending on, of course, which one you go with, a portion of that is going towards the principal of the instrument. Actually, most of what you're paying there is going towards that principal. $5 a month, I believe, is maintenance, and again, maintenance really is covered. So if they're paying over $5, nobody bats an eye. Yeah, so most of what you're paying is towards the principal of the instrument. So eventually, if you're renting that instrument for a few years, you get to a comfortable spot to pay it off, or you get a step-up model, and you can, as long as you have an active account with us, you can exchange, you can step up, and keep that amount that you've been accruing since the time that you've been renting. Oh, let's see, exchange. He mentioned that a little bit. If you want to exchange an instrument, always talk to your teacher first. Because you call us and say, we don't want to play this anymore. We go at this work, okay, we'll change it. But make sure you talk to him. And a lot of times, he'll actually let me know, so-and-so wants to change. So I hear from him. I would say if your kid's not comfortable with their instrument, talk to Mr. Cork about it first. And then we can do that. It's super easy.
So adding on to that, sorry to cut you off. Next year, at the very beginning of when they are 5th grade, we will have a percussion instrument tryout if that is something that they are interested in. If I were to do that in 4th grade, we've had overwhelming numbers with that. If they are interested though in swapping over to percussion, just know if they are renting through here, they can swap out that instrument for a percussion kit. And all that money that would have gone towards that is now transferred over, which is why I highly recommend renting if that's an option for you. If you were to own your own instrument, just know that would be a whole new process right over there. But if you were paying like that monthly amount, that goes towards that swap.
Yeah. Honestly, that's most of what I have to say. If there are any questions, though, I will be happy to answer them, or you guys can see us up here.
If they were to put in their rental today, how soon until it would arrive? Would that be this week or next week?
Oh, this week, for sure. It wouldn't be, your day is usually Tuesday, but it would be...
Is that a little quick?
Yeah, it would be quick. We are low on the, what is it, the Mixo, Slido Mix.
We have extras here, so if that comes in a later day.
Yeah, it could be really quick. We do have a weird thing that we haven't ever had to deal with. We just heard today that Illinois, the whole state of Illinois, any like tangible rental property has to be taxed. So this is new for us. So we have to do some changing in our system a little bit, and that might put us a little bit behind. But I mean, we've got a pretty small group here, so I mean, we'd probably be done tomorrow morning, honestly.
Well, I think that we have more than 2/3 over there. Just so you guys know, with this grade level, we're expecting, I think it's around like 26 students that are joining the band this year. Obviously not a lot of them here today, but they're gonna be all tuning in. I keep pointing my phones over here for the recording. So, depending on whenever they are able to get the instruments in, I'll send you guys a start date. It's either going to be next Tuesday after MLK Day, or it's going to be the week after. We'll get started then.
Yeah. So we can do this pretty quickly. Again, you can do this online if you're in a hurry. Otherwise, you can come see us up here, and we'll give you all the numbers.